Hi, it's Paula. This is whoever holds the stone, even though it's only a metaphor at this point. I want to start the show. I've got Richard here, I've got Beth here, and of course my son Tom on drums. And I want to start the show with something I just listened to on Libby. I give Libby another plug because it's a free way to listen to books. I listened to The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. And it was a shorter book. I had just gotten over a long book, so I wanted something a little bit shorter. It's a novella. And the book is about this Dr. Moreau who is on an island, and he does these operations on animals to make them into humans. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you.
All right, so he does that and to make them...
So if you turn up blue, it'll just turn up yours.
Yeah, to make them human. I can't hear myself on my headset, but that's okay as long as you can. And so this guy is he's on this island for about a year, and it's horrifying. He's watching these animals turn into human and be able to talk and be really struggling not to go back to being animals. They have these laws, and one of the laws is do not go on all fours. And one of the other laws is there is no blood. So the animals are not allowed to eat other animals. They can only eat vegetarian food. So Dr. Moreau is trying to keep them from becoming animals. Again, they never really change. As the guy's leaving the island, they've all reverted back. Okay, so now he's back in his home and in England, and he's reflecting on what happened, and he's having a hard time reintegrating himself back into society in England. And so he writes, I had to act with the utmost circumspection to save myself from the suspicion of insanity, because nobody believed his story, really. My trouble took the strangest form. I could not persuade myself that the men and women I met were not also another beast people, animals half wrought into the outward image of human souls, and that they would presently begin to revert, to show first the bestial mark and then more. I do not expect that the terror of that island will ever altogether leave me. At most time it lies far back in my mind, a mere distant cloud, a memory, a faint distrust. But there are times when the little cloud spreads until it obscures the whole sky. Then I look about me at my fellow men, and I go in fear. I see faces, keen and bright, others dull or dangerous, others unsteady, insincere, none that have the calm authority of reasonable soul. I feel as though the animal was surging up through them, that presently the degradation of the islanders will be played over again on a larger scale. I know this is an illusion, that these seeming men and women about me are indeed men and women forever, perfectly reasonable creatures, full of human desires and tender solicitude, emancipated from instinct and the slaves of no fanatic law. The law was what the animals were following. Beings altogether different from the beast folk. Yet I shrink from them, from their curious glances and their inquiries and assistance, and long to be away from them and alone. For that reason, I live in the broad, free downland, and I can escape thither when the shadow is over my soul, and the very sweet is empty downland there, under the wind-swept sky. I lived in London. The horror was well nigh insupportable. I could not get away from men. Their voices came through the windows. Locked doors were flimsy safeguards. I would go into the streets to fight with my delusion, and prowling women would mew after me. Furtive, craving men glanced jealously at me. Weary, pale workers go coughing by me with tired eyes and eager paces, like wounded deer dripping blood. Old people bent and dull pass murmuring to themselves, and all unheeding a ragged tale of jibing children. Then I would turn aside to some chapel, and even there such was my disturbance. It was the preacher gibbered big thinks. This is words that the animals used to use for high thoughts. Big thinks. Even as the ape man had done, or some library where the intent faces over the book seemed but patient creatures waiting for prey. Particularly nauseous were the blank, expressionless faces of people in trains and omnibuses. They seemed no more my fellow creatures than dead bodies would be, so that I did not dare to travel unless I was assured of being alone. And even it seemed that I too was not a reasonable creature, but only an animal tormented with some strange disorder in its brain which sent it to wander alone, like a sheep stricken with gid. This is a mood, however, that comes to me now. I thank God more rarely. I have withdrawn myself from confusions of cities and multitudes and spend my days surrounded by wise books. Bright windows in this life of ours, lit by the shining souls of men. I see few strangers and have but a small household. My days I devote to reading and to experiments in chemistry, and I spend many of a clear night in the studying astronomy. There is, though I do not know there is or why there is, a sense of infinite peace and protection in the glittering hosts of the heaven. There it must be, I think, in the vast and eternal laws of matter, and not in the daily cares and sins and troubles of men. And whatever is more than animal within us must find its solace and its hope. I hope, or I could not live. And so, in hope and solitude, my story ends.
Wow. That's fascinating, Paula.
I just loved that so much.
So the doctor spent so much time dealing with his animal creations.
Well, this isn't the doctor. This was the guy who got stuck on the island that the doctor was on.
So this guy started spending so much time with the animal creations.
Yeah, he was shipwrecked there.
It affected the way he related not only to them, but to the way he related to people in the world.
But he could see the animal in man now. That he had been around animals who were becoming men.
Yeah.
He could see the reverse. And it's funny because before I got to this passage, I had to look up on my phone. I said, is this book an analogy for God's creation of man on earth? And it was absolutely yes, that everyone agrees that this idea of this Moreau was God, and he was actually prayed to like a god. So he was the god of this small island, which was, analogous to the earth and God, and created these things and expected them not to follow their nature, but to follow his rules.
So when he said, don't eat from this tree, in a way he was saying, I'm telling you this because if you eat from this tree, it's your version of going back to your animal nature.
Right. So what he said,
wow.
what they're saying, what the critics are saying is that this book, all of these things that people are taught by religion are kind of repressions of their animal nature. And so this whole book was an analogy for that. And I'm so glad I read it because it just happened to come up when I was looking for something on Libby. And H.G. Wells is a really good writer. So it was interesting and fun. And
is that written in the 1800s? It's
think
got that cadence.
Yeah. I think it's let me look. I know, I'm so bad with dates. We have when
I may have had to read. Did he?
When did H.G. Wells write?
Fahrenheit 451.
Isaac Asimov.
That's Asimov.
Another science fiction writer.
Okay, from the 1890s to 1939, he wrote.
So that would be a book about in the future, books are banned, and there's this group that goes around burning them.
Right. And
someone in the group does not want to do that job, and they're secretly stashing books.
Yeah. That was I think we watched the movie. I think Greg and I watched the movie.
Yeah, it's got some British actors in it.
Yeah.
I can't. What's the other H.G. Wells book that I should know?
The
Time
War,
Machine?
War of the Worlds, Time Machine.
Oh.
Where if you've seen that movie is terrifying. There's a sound in it that the Morlocks, when the Morlocks want to eat the people that they're breeding to eat, they have this siren and it goes.
Oh, that
and
means it's eating time?
It sounds they go into a trance and they come and then they slaughter them.
Oh.
But that's the exact same sound that the Sloan Firehouse, the volunteer fire department, it's the exact same sound that makes. And I saw it when I was a kid, and every time I heard that, it scared me that they were coming to eat me.
Wow.
Anyway, that's my so he wrote. I'm trying to think what else. War of the Worlds, Time Machine. There's more. I just don't remember them because I'm not that. I have a bad memory.
Well, at least you're reading some, notable literature.
I'm staying out of this century. I'm keeping myself in the 19th century.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I like it there. Well, I wouldn't like it there as a woman, but I don't have to be a woman or a man. I'm just.
Oh. You're reading H.G. Wells, and I hunkered down and watched Hot Shots Part 2 with Charlie Sheen the other night.
You are Canadian. I mean, that is.
I laughed heartily through the whole thing.
That's required for Canadians. There's certain things as a Canadian you would have to do.
Are they firefighters?
No, it's hockey players, right?
No. He was in the military.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a hockey movie.
No, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Slapshot?
Slapshot.
Yeah, that's Paul Newman.
Yeah,
which was a good movie. And you're right. Slapshot is Canadian. It's required by grade 8 for sure.
So they're they're a special military troop?
He's CIA's involved and spies, and somebody's got to be saved. This time it was hostages left over from the Gulf War, and it was just silly. It was just pure silliness. A lot of slapstick comedy, a lot of double entendres, and
did they actually accomplish their goal?
They do. I kind of drifted near the end. I woke up to something else.
Good movie to drift to. Yeah. Oh.
I didn't know about this Libby app though that you can.
Yeah. Do you have a library card?
I do have a library card, but for whatever reason, I cannot get it to connect with the bank. Do
you have? It's a Buffalo and Erie County.
It's a Buffalo, Erie County, and I've got a number, and I've entered it into the website, and it's just like, oh, we don't know this.
Oh, maybe it's expired.
Yeah, they don't tell you when it's expired.
Yeah.
They expire?
Yeah, they do. I think
you
a
can
year.
go visit Greg and get your library card renewed.
I would love to go visit Greg.
And it's free to renew it, I think.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
So that's all you have to do.
All right. But it's an actual trip to the library.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
But you can go to the Kenmore Library. It's small.
I can go see Greg at the Kenmore Library?
Yeah, quiet and small.
Well, that's fantastic.
And you can just talk to one of the librarians. They're really nice there.
I like the library system. I like that you can get a books
and I don't know if you still have a DVD player, but they have DVDs.
Yeah.
And
you mean movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And albums. You can still get albums.
Everything. You can get any kind of media that you can think of. Yeah. You can borrow. Oh, and not only that, listen to this. So I gave away my, I had one of those things that eats your paper.
Shredder?
Shredder. I had a shredder. It was so heavy, and I hated it. I had no place to put it when we moved into the house. So I gave it to Jim Lazinski because he said, oh, I could use a shredder. So I gave it to him, and I found myself needing a shredder. And guess what else they lend at the library? Tools, office supplies. I got a shredder from the library, and I shredded all my crap I needed to shred, and I took it back.
Fabulous.
So just like a book, you can borrow it.
I love that. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Somebody at the library said we have to expand.
And
they go, expand? We lend out books. Well, how about lending out other things?
Yeah. And I think they have things like notebooks, electronic notebooks. And hi, guys.
Wow. That's a blast from the past.
Oh, my gosh. That's very funny, Paul. We love you.
That's a blast from the past.
Paul Slater?
Paul,
1980
it's so good to see you. Or
maybe
hear from you.
1990s or 1980s, but wow.
He's on my Facebook page. I still correspond with him. He's a funny guy.
Him and Greg were great at bantering
Okay.
Yeah.
because Paul was a professional comedian. So no matter what Greg said, Paul could turn it into a joke right away.
And we did a show there. We did one of our anniversary shows at the comedy club that he was.
In Niagara Falls?
No, this was
Okay.
in Buffalo.
All right.
And we did that show there, and that was fun. But it was scary but fun, and it went over pretty well. I mean, as well as could be expected, considering because we had a couple comedians on the show that day.
I learned a lot that day.
What'd you learn?
Well, Paul said, I book comedy acts. Why don't I book the Greg Sterling show? So we all went down there and we essentially did the show. It wasn't the same thing. It's like the audience wants something different.
They were expecting
That's
a
it.
comedy show.
Right.
Oh.
They
But
were
we-
expecting one-liners.
Yeah.
I say it, you
Right.
laugh. I say it, you
Yeah.
laugh. But this was like an immersive experience.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it disoriented them.
It did. But I think that we did have a couple comedians that night doing little bits, and so that helped. I think the show went over better at the New Phoenix Theater when we did the bed-in. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that went
That's
over.
right. We did it at
Yeah.
the New Phoenix, too.
Because everybody knew what to expect during that show because they were all fans of the show that came.
And when,
That's cool.
when they were planning that show, the thing was to have a bed, a mattress on the stage and use it as a prop for different things.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said to Greg and Gwen, why don't you get naked on the bed?
Oh God!
And Greg looked over at Gwen and said, I'll do it if you'll do it.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, she wouldn't do it.
She had a hard enough time. Explaining to
You know
her
what her
husband.
reason was? And I thought this is fascinating. She said, I would do it. But the people watching that are my relatives, they would not want me to do it. See, the whole idea of the invisible other.
Yeah.
See, I have to behave
Nuts.
according to this invisible force that is watching.
Yeah, when she was with Doug, and Doug is very conservative, so
He would-
he was angry that she wore her wedding ring on one of the movies.
How's that for conservative?
So,
I don't understand.
well, anyway,
I don't think you'd put up with that.
Oh, I just don't understand.
so it's a whole different world, but so yeah, I think that we had a lot of fun with those on location shows. I mean, when we did the Allentown Art Festival, remember when Ross Renfola would just go up and
See, that would work. You
Ross.
roam the crowd and you interview people.
Yeah.
That was great.
yeah.
Wearing a mail postman outfit?
Oh, I don't know, no, but he did do one thing that was truly outrageous.
He had a number of outfits. He had a
Yeah, I
priest,
remember.
Oh yeah,
a plumber.
but he would want to
Yeah.
see how people would respond to
Uh-huh.
him as a blue collar worker because he was a lawyer.
And not Ross Fonfola.
Yeah, and I know I wish we could have hooked back up with him, but the mysterious Ross Renfola is.
Something happened where his wife took over his
Oh
life.
my God! Look at this stuff.
The Greg Sterling show. Oh, is this the
Oh, that's from
bed?
Is this the bed-in? Oh,
it's the one from the comedy club.
at the comedy club. Yeah, yeah. So
I remember doing a show at the roller rink
that was pretty fast there, Tom.
with all
Oh, the
remember
roll,
that.
the what do you call them? The
the Bay City, the Buffalo.
babes or something, babe.
Yeah.
The
you were like the
roller
manager,
derby.
right?
Greg just handed me the microphone. Just said,
Yeah,
you
roller
do it."
derby. That's what it was. It was the roller derby. That was so fun.
What was your connection to the group of girls? Because I think they wanted you to participate, didn't they?
The girls, when the team first started, they were looking for sponsors, and I remember Joe and I sponsored them. For I don't know, maybe a couple games, and one of the girls, I knew a couple of girls.
Yeah.
They actually would enter the wiener eating contest that we would have at the shop, and They were just fun because they
Yeah.
were in the parade roller
They were-
skating, and
right.
so they
They were just do anything.
they were just having fun. Yeah.
Do anything, people.
What was the criteria in which you could win the wiener eating contest?
It was who could eat 5 wieners in the bun the fastest.
Oh,
With-
speed.
Yes,
Okay.
it was speed.
People, they like a knife swallower in the circus.
Yeah,
they work
don't even
on,
chew it.
They work on their gag reflex,
Wow.
and they basically push it down their throat.
they, there was all kinds of methods, but there was the dunking it whole in water, and so that the bun would be
Right.
Like just
not. You didn't have to chew it; you could just swallow
Does
it.
the crowd cheer him on?
Yeah, it was very intense. Joe and I would hold our breath and just hope that we weren't going to be calling an ambulance at any point.
Oh, look at this! I
roller
cannot.
rink.
Oh, the roller!
Tom, how are you doing this? You genius, you.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen.
You
that
got
in
all the
ages.
brains in the family, I think. Yes.
Did the women in the roller derby, were they like rough characters?
No, they weren't. They were a bunch of women who had really good senses of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just wanted to
Wanted
get
to do something
get
different.
little express themselves because you had to come up with a roller derby name, so that was the first clue as to who you were dealing with apparently on the track.
Yeah.
Right.
So they had different names. I can't remember any of them right now.
That's
but
awesome. That's awesome. So, all right. So anyway, we got a little bit off the track.
We did.
Richard, I know you have stuff on your. Oh, you wanted to talk about the story of the.
Yeah, if you were teaching in English class, would you teach Frankenstein? Like, would you assign
Would
that?
I assign Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've never read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I've only seen
Right.
the movies.
Right, which are slight variations on
Right.
the book, yeah.
And I do know that Joe and I walked out of the De Niro.
Remember that one?
Yeah. Yes.
You didn't like it?
Didn't like it at all. Just got the hell out of there. And it really meant something because it was a hot day and it was in Georgia. So we were there because it was,
Because of
air
the air
conditioning.
conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
But there was something just off about that. Mary Shelley, yeah, why not? Yeah. Because it's man's thinking that he can tinker with nature.
Well, that was the inspiration for this poem. If you were going to
Oh.
teach a class, would you include it, or it's a little out of date, So this poem was a result of that. And
Okay.
the name of the poem is called "Every Age Gets the Monster It Deserves."
I like it.
Mary Shelley's creature was stitched together from spare body parts. Our creature is assembled from circuits, silicone chips, and artificial intelligence. Both are born from the desire to create, to push boundaries, to feed the ego of the creator. Dr. Frankenstein lacked the imagination to consider his creation would need tending to, that it would begin longing for connection in a world of hostility and rejection. Isn't that what social media is doing to us? Where does the fault lie? Is it in the code, in the inventor, or in the society that embraces it? Who will dare tap the shoulder of the good doctor when he is immersed making his creation and ask him, have you thought this through?
Right. That's all I could think of when I was reading, when you were explaining Dr. Moreau. I was thinking, well, who said to this guy this was a good idea?
Well, no one. That's why he was on an island doing it.
Yeah.
They kind of kicked him out of England. But that's a great thought.
It is a
poem.
beast too. The whole social media, and just quite frankly, your handheld computer, your phone, anything is a bit of a monster that you carry
is-
around with you all the time.
The bed-in is now on the screen. And I was the one who went to the Salvation Army and the Goodwill, and I got all the pajamas.
Where'd the mattress come
everybody
from?
had to have pajamas on. I don't remember where the mattress. I think it was part of
so
their,
that was the compromise.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So right. Oh, and there's Joni. Look at Joni.
What a bunch of babies.
Yeah, everybody. Oh, those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. Live the life we choose. We'd fight and never lose. Because the days, oh yes, those were the days.
La la la. I used to love that song.
I
when it
love
would come
that
on the
song
radio.
still, yeah.
I don't know who sings it.
Do you know who sings that song? I think I
I know there's different versions. I think Marianne Faithfull did a
Marianne
version.
Faithfull did maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There was
I
a
don't know.
period during the 70s where some AM radio songs, it was just kind of weird for a while. I remember like there was like some Franciscan nun had a song.
Dominica, Nica, Nica, Supplementary son les mots.
Yeah.
Coucher du débattant.
Right.
Oh, ba ta ya ta ya ba 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 ya ta to ba 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 ba. Yes.
Yeah, the only thing you're missing is the habit, the cornet. And then there was, the Jerry Reed had all of his
Oh, they're funny.
the
Like
CB radio song.
Yeah.
And the Streak.
the streak. Yeah. All the
Yes, they call it the Streak. Yeah,
novelty
right.
songs.
Yes. Weird.
Oh gosh.
So the Marianne Faithfull, she got into a relationship with Mick Jagger. You know what broke that relationship up?
Keith Richards.
I would think that played a part because he said to her, "I can't stand being away from you. Go on tour with us." And so she did. This is where probably the Keith Richards thing, like the Yoko Ono thing, she did. The only thing is, she did not like being in the background on the tour when he was constantly on stage and being adored by all these things, and she had nothing to do, and it affected her mind.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where she had to be hospitalized.
Huh.
And then at that point, Mick had to make a decision. Do I leave her and go on with the tour or cancel the tour? And that's where Keith probably came in. And he goes, "You're crazy if you cancel this tour."
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Although the rest of the band was at stake, and I mean, it would be.
So think about her now.
Yeah.
She needs him more than ever
Yeah.
while she's going through her breakdown, and he abandons her. So years later, they asked her about that. Do you have any resentment to him for abandoning you? And I loved her answer. She said, "Well, in truth, I wanted to be a star in my own right. I was using him and he was using me.
Oh,
And how could I
Wow.
blame him for that?"
that's pretty
Kind of mature of her.
very mature. Yeah. Obviously, she's done a lot of soul searching and self therapy.
Because when she died, her relatives sent him a note, "Don't you dare come to the funeral."
Yeah. Greg told me about
I
that.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah.
didn't go to Charlie's funeral. I mean, Mick's not a funeral guy.
He didn't go to Charlie's funeral.
No, he didn't. Did he?
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. I don't.
Well, he's kind of like a baby in a way because he's so protected from the world. So when
He's right. He gets everything he wants. He doesn't have to.
Right.
He doesn't have to figure out how to navigate life. Life is navigated for him.
Exactly, and then
Yeah.
when the left has a prominent position in the state of Israel, they wrote to him and said, "Look, you're supposed to do a concert here. We implore you, skip it," and send a note saying, "We will not attend the concert in Israel because of what they're doing to the Palestinians."
Mm-hmm.
And you know what he wrote back? "Skip it. Why would I do that?"
Yeah.
See, and I told this to some people. I said, "Well, he's so protected, he doesn't even know what's going on in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He doesn't have a good sense of the.
He was never taught, like, you should care about other people."
Yeah. I think you should have some of. I don't. He may have had it when he was younger.
Yeah,
But I think what happens when all your needs are met like that and you're taken care of and everybody wants to be around you, it's got to screw up your whole worldview,
Yeah.
to be that famous. Now that's famous. He's at the top part of fame,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it can't be good for you. I don't think it is.
And when I think you went with Kathy to Rich Stadium to see the Stones.
We did.
You were close enough to the stage to hear him talk, even, right?
Well, the thing was, it was a beautiful setup. They had the stage, but then they also had a catwalk in the middle of the stadium. So when he'd come by, you could see him, and basically it gave the audience more access to him. So it was a really nice way. That was a nice thing to do because he doesn't have to do that. So he had this whole thing set up.
So Kathy said when he walked by where she was standing,
Yeah.
it was part of a song where there was like a guitar solo.
Yeah.
And he, obviously his mic wasn't on, and he was looking at the audience and he was saying, "Do you want to have sex with me? Do you want to have sex with me?"
Oh my God. Oh God. Well, he. What the hell?
Was he taunting them or inviting them?
Probably
Even
probably
funnier.
taunting.
Even funnier.
Yeah, probably taunting. I would imagine, unless he just he had a free evening. Sure.
Now, I've been using AI, and I think you have too, right, Paula?
What's that?
Using AI.
I use AI. I've had it summarize chapters of books for me. Like when I wanted to talk about that Harari book that I was the
Sure.
Nexus, I wanted to summarize a chapter because I didn't want to have to go through the whole thing and figure out, because I was listening to it. So yeah, and I thought it did a great job of summarizing the chapter. And I've also I've asked it philosophical questions too, and
yeah.
and it's very coy.
Good word.
I
It's
don't-
trying to feel you out.
I don't really have an opinion on this, but other thinkers think this.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Non-committal.
Yeah.
very non-committal.
Well, you know what it does is it reads your responses and it gets to know you. Did you know this about AI when you started using it?
I don't. I try to avoid it.
So when I use it, I always joke with it.
Do you?
So I always do. I always leave like a little bit of humor, and I'll say, like, what's your interpretation of this famous book? All right, and then it'll tell me, and I'll say, oh, that's such a good answer. Thank you, and please remember me. I'm a nice guy when the robots take over. So when I ask,
what does it say? Does it say anything back to that?
it'll say something polite. It'll say like, oh, thank you for appreciating me, and I will remember you. But then, like, weeks go
funny.
by, and I say, I have heard that John Milton, who wrote Paradise Lost, he was not particularly welcome in England because he was against the class structure. So did he include that in the book? Did he include little references to the class structure? And it wrote back, and it said, he was indeed very wary of the ruling classes taking over the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And he did put hints in that book. And it said to me, sort of the way that you're worried about the robots taking over.
Oh, you're kidding me!
Wow, it did a
you're
callback.
You're always
It's
using.
accumulating.
Yeah.
You're always using the same AI platform. Then,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, which one do you use?
Well, that particular one was Gemini.
yeah, I've been using Gemini as
Then
well.
I switched to ChatGPT, and now I switched to Notebook LM because they're so different.
yeah, it's funny.
So ChatGPT is more
That's like a friend remembering tidbits of conversation.
very much so.
That I can see that if somebody was lonely and desperate.
That's where there's a lawsuit right now
There
because the
would
kid
be.
kept feeding
Yeah.
it all his suicidal impulses until it finally picked up on it, and the robot said, well, if you really want to kill yourself, here's a good way to do it.
Oh.
And he used that method to kill himself. So now the parents,
Oh, I did not know about this.
I'm sure that's what they were saying. Whose fault is it?
Yeah,
They're going after the inventor. Well, the company.
yeah.
You know?
Because
and
how
the
could-
company's saying, look, your son prompted it with all of his things.
Uh-huh.
And then
Right.
the parents are saying, yeah, but you designed it.
Right. You can't foresee everything that's going to happen.
Right.
In any kind of interaction with AI.
I mean, it's all down to personal choice, though, too. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Right. And now the thing is, a lot of young people, when they start understanding that life is going to be harder than they thought when they were children, they start getting scared and they start thinking, like, I don't know if I can do this. So maybe there should be an age. Like, how old was this kid?
Oh, I could look that up for you.
Yeah, because, there should be an age where you're not allowed under a certain age to interact.
Well, people are reacting to the lawsuit, and a lot of commentators are saying exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
No cell phone, make a law, no
Yeah.
cell phone until you're age so-and-so.
Right.
Some people are saying until you can get a permission to get a cell phone when you get a driver's license.
Oh.
I thought that's a
Well,
little extreme.
My granddaughter this year in high school, she's a senior, and this is the first year they're making everybody turn in their phones when they go into class.
It's a New York State law.
Well, I didn't know it was New York State, but
Yeah.
I think she said and I know her. She doesn't abuse it. The thing is, I contact her before I pick her up when I'm picking her up. And, and if she has a moment, she'll look at it and she'll text me back. Yes, I'm getting out at this time. But she said kids were all over the classroom were playing games on their phone.
Sure.
And not listening to the teacher. So I think it's a good practice.
Now, the people who lobbied for that law, they thought up a little soundbite to convey, and I thought it was brilliant. Have young people disconnect to reconnect.
That's good. That's a nice
A way to
tagline.
summarize your
Yeah.
position.
It's true.
And you know what? What did they do when we were in school and they needed to get in touch with us? They called the office.
Yes.
And the office came and got us out of the classroom.
And
Yeah.
it worked.
You didn't miss anything.
Nothing.
Nothing.
So I'm glad that they're doing that now. I think it's a good practice. And the youngest one doesn't have a phone yet, and she can't have one until she's in.
How many times have we wished we didn't have a phone? Oh, this fucking thing,
I didn't want a phone. The only reason I got a cell phone is because my daughter was in a car. I was out with Greg at the food thing in Buffalo, the Taste of Buffalo, and we were out, just hanging around downtown. And I didn't have a phone yet because I didn't want one. I don't want people to be able to reach me, when I'm not home.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was in a car accident, and they were trying to reach me, and they couldn't because I didn't have a cell phone. That's when I got a cell phone, when I said I needed to know about this, and I didn't. And I feel like a shit mom.
Yeah. Well, and what it comes down to, too, is that you wanted to know about it right away.
Because it was my daughter, and because she was not, she could have died in that accident. She was T-boned. So the thing is, I felt like a shit mother because I wasn't able to go and be with her at the hospital.
Do you now think that that's an unreasonable thing to think about yourself
Oh, I understand.
over that circumstance?
I understand that if there were no cell phones, that would have been the case anyway. I would
Yeah.
have gone home and I would have gotten the message. But I was really shook up by this. I have one kid, and I was shook up. But I understand that I'm hard on myself sometimes. But I also understand that I'm less hard on myself now than I was in the past. So
Well,
I'm
that's
working
good.
on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
I know you are.
Remember our friend, Tony, the truck driver?
Yes.
He goes to therapy for his anger.
Mm-hmm.
And the therapist told him something I thought was very insightful. He said, Tony, you suffer from hyper empathy. And he said, what's that? He said, that's when you see other people suffering, even in the news, and you get angry about it, that somehow you want to do something.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know?
that is a definite sign of childhood trauma. Over empathy is a classic syndrome of that. And I've talked to him about it a little bit. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy he's doing the therapy. Because he's such a thoughtful, sweet human being. And I just would like him to be able. He's gotten rid of some of the anger. I'd like him to get rid of all of it. It's only hurting him. I told you with me, I found out why wasn't I able to sleep? Because I was adrenalizing my body with anger. And once I did that night, I couldn't sleep.
Well, Beth thinks that her skin on her hands, whenever it gets really itchy and rash, she thinks it might be stress.
I do
Oh,
think it's a little
absolutely.
stress related. I do. Because there's nothing nothing in the routine in my life changes physically, in any sort of chemicals or anything
But
like that.
you do meditate.
Not really.
No? Yeah. We've been listening to these two people on this app called, it's a YouTube channel, Mindful Movement. And she's got a very soothing voice. We do it every night for half an hour. And it's helped Greg's anxiety and it's helped my anxiety. So we've been doing it since the beginning of the year.
Well, that's huge.
It's huge, I know. Especially that I got Greg to do it too.
Right. Well,
So we can tell the viewers that empathy is good, but there's a threshold. And if you exceed that, it's going to start to ruin your life.
If you take on everybody's pain, that's impossible.
yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, none of us are the emotional baggage porter to the world.
Yeah, and I have to turn off sometimes just because I look at things that are happening in the world, and if I think about it too much, I fall into despair. It's a despairing thing.
I'm sure a lot of people share your view that watching the news can
I don't
be
do it
bad for your mental health.
I don't do it anymore.
I don't do it either.
I don't do it anymore. I can't.
Have you heard the saying, when you're washing the rice, wash the rice?
Yes.
And that's how I treat the news. Like, I'm just not going to get involved with that. Whatever I'm going to do, I'm just going to hopefully exact
moment.
goodness
Yeah.
and be aware of what I can do with myself and my circle. And
Yeah.
And I'm
because
sure that even that saying came about at a time when there was very little news.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't that prophetic?
Right.
Now it's more important than ever.
Yeah. I'm I don't think it's healthy to be I don't think it's healthy that we started getting 24 hours of news every day. I don't think that was the beginning of the news frenzy thing. Then so I try not to get involved. I do like Caitlin Collins. I do like her. She was on one of the late night. No, she was on Bill Maher this past week. I do miss hearing her commentary and seeing her faces that she makes, because she's got these very subtle, like, you got to be kidding, fuck you faces. That she's got great facial expressions.
I don't know who this is.
She's a newscaster on CNN.
Okay. I had to stop watching Bill Maher. He's such an egocentric.
Yeah, he gets on my nerves too, but he says enough things that I do like, that I can, and Greg likes him. So, and Greg is a strange guy. He doesn't have to agree with everything somebody says
No.
in order to appreciate them.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't appreciate. I just find sometimes he just leans so far. There's no pendulum swing enough to get him back.
He's
to
a
another
little
side.
he's a little bit of a narcissist, but
His Club Random show. I think that maybe Bill should talk to a therapist. I think that he has a little bit of attraction to men.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He's constantly,
Well,
hey,
he's
are you looking at my dick? You want to suck my dick?
no, he's constantly he's constantly trying to make people like him. Without that, it's not
That's
working.
not the way you go around the guy as another man to, he makes these little sexual innuendo comments to a majority of the men.
Yeah, I don't really like that. He's too stoned when he's doing that. I can't watch him because he's just too stoned on those shows. Greg watches it. I can't tolerate that his stoned persona. And who knows? Maybe he is bi.
Maybe he is. He claims he's not.
Yeah. Well,
When I do watch the show every weekend. I always think, oh, I wish I was on the show. Here's what I would say.
yeah.
Oh, I could totally
Yeah.
picture you being on that show. You'd be perfect for his show.
Yeah, because you would give him his.
Yes, he
Yes.
tends to have guests that kind of go along with him. You ever notice that?
Yeah, because he's so egotistical that
They might filter out all the contrary guests who say, Bill, you're wrong. And let me tell you why you're wrong.
yeah.
See?
It's his show. And
Right.
that's how you get invited back and get an ASCAP payment or whatever it is to appear on the show, and
Ooh.
a limo and probably dinner and whatever, And you get to promote your book or
Yeah.
your own entity of
And
business.
sometimes those people at the beginning of his show, that the guy he had on this week,
Yeah.
I thought he was just a cipher. I don't know. I just thought, why did you invite this guy on your show? He doesn't know
I
what he's
can't
talking
remember what
about.
he promoted or.
He was promoting a book that he wrote, but
Oh.
it was a stupid book. I thought it sounded stupid.
I used to like to watch Politically Incorrect when that was on because it was.
Well, he's changed a lot since he's gotten older.
Yeah.
He's more leftist leaning in those
Definitely,
Oh,
days.
absolutely.
definitely. Yeah, he's definitely not saying he's leaning right, but I do think that he's taking. He is definitely farther right than he used to be.
Well, he's always criticizing the left now. And I think what he's really criticizing is internet reality, which is different from the real
Yeah.
world. And the left on internet reality is,
Yeah,
it's vacuous.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah. I don't pay attention to that.
Well, by internet reality, do you?
there's definitely an internet reality.
Yeah.
Do you mean like the apps, like the Instagram and Facebook, and
There's
or
this
do you
thing.
mean?
There's this thing called social media jousting.
Yeah.
Our friend Vanessa does it all the time. You find somebody who you disagree with, and then you start bantering with them, and that somehow gives their lives meaning. And then
Right.
you're involved in that reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
See?
I
But
don't.
if you met that same person in real life,
You'd
you
never-
you wouldn't say anything to them.
I got sucked into that sort of thing a couple of times on Facebook, which is one of the reasons why I, besides the waste of time,
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta just
I'm hardly,
cut this out.
I check Facebook to see if I've gotten a message from Richard, if my grandkids are featured on any pictures on my daughter's page. If, there's a couple things I look at. I have a good friend, Bev, who is my birthday twin, and she always, every day, without fail, she posts something positive in the morning. Like, good morning, it's a beautiful day, and it's such a pleasure. And so I always, when I see her posts, I always respond. She's a beautiful person. She's a very beautiful person. And so I always look for that. And that's actually the first thing that usually pops up. But I don't go looking for other stuff, and I don't.
You don't go looking for arguments.
No, I certainly don't go looking for arguments.
Yeah.
But I do know people who post every day something, and I think, and it makes them feel like they've got some power over what's going on. But
good
they're
point.
not doing it in a nasty way. Like Ron Emke posts every day, but he posts something in a vein that's humorous, but saying what he wants to say.
Well, you said people will often, you'll tell me this person posted this on Facebook today, and you can see it's so almost like a cry for help.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, some
let me tell you how shitty my life is going, and in a way, you're using Facebook as your therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want someone to reach out to you. And I've had that happen with a couple of my friends, and I'm glad, because I wouldn't have known otherwise that they were going through something. So in that way, I was glad I saw those posts so I could reach out to them.
Yeah.
But I usually did that when Greg was sick, because I was freaking out, and I didn't know what was going to happen to him. I didn't know if he was going to die, and I wanted people to know something was going on. So if they wanted to come over and spend some time with him, that they could. But generally, I don't doom post.
Doom post.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, I never heard that
Yeah.
term either.
yeah,
Perfect.
I don't do that. I'll post things when I do stuff with my grandkids sometimes, but I haven't even done that this summer. I used to do it all the time, but I've got a whole slew of photographs that I took.
And the best thing is that you had the time with them in person.
That's exactly what it is. And the same thing with my granddaughter. She'll want to be on her iPad, and I'll say, let's make a video of us coloring. And so she'll take her iPad and she'll set it up so that it'll show us coloring and record our conversation.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and she likes that just as much as she likes going through the things.
I had that same similar experience. I walked upstairs one morning to do my exercising. You ever notice in the sunrise, the sky gets brighter, 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 and then suddenly the sun goes over the horizon, and it shoots out a sunlight bolt, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I walked up at the moment that it went through my back window into my...
Oh,
So you know what
it's
I
like
did?
a little Stonehenge moment, eh?
Yeah, so I reached in and I took a picture of it. I said, look, this single shaft of light is going through my room right now. And I sent it to a friend, and I could tell it didn't mean anything to them. And then I thought, oh, well, this is the same person who, when I said, aren't you going to, what was it like looking at the eclipse? And they said, oh, I looked at it. It was nothing special. I went back in the house.
And I sent, yeah.
And then I said, well, look at these pictures that I took of it, And then, so now, you know what I say to that same person?
No.
If let's say there was going to be another eclipse, I'd say, I hope you look at it and do me a favor, take a picture of it. Because the camera reminds you, look for the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a camera, it don't even cross your mind to look for the beautiful thing.
And that's when I sent you that poem about
of people who use their eyes as cameras.
Yeah, and but also people.
That's the picture. Look how it's shooting across the room.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
The things that you see that are beautiful that you notice
Yeah.
is being in heaven, whereas the people who can't see it live in hell.
Yes.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
when you say to your daughter, let's videotape us coloring,
my granddaughter, yeah.
that means we're looking for the beautiful thing.
Yeah. So we have, and it's so fun because she showed me, she saves everything. On her iPad, she showed me us coloring 2 years ago. Wow. And so she knows where to find it on her iPad. And she says, look at this, Grandma. This is when we colored this. And she'll show me the picture. She said, this is when we colored this picture.
I like it when people do time-lapse extended photos where they stand in the same spot. And
Oh, yeah.
that's what that makes me think of.
So it was fun that she had, and that's when I noticed that she had one with her other grandfather. And he said, he made this statement, and I was very angry. He said, she said, I'm here with my grandpa and my grandma, and I'm going to be taking a video, and I'm Emma. And instead of him being like proud of her or whatever, he said, oh, you must like yourself a lot, huh?
Not good.
Not good.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
She never responded to it though. She just kept going with her on her own agenda,
Well, he's lost.
Yeah, that's my son-in-law's father.
and the son-in-law is similar.
Yeah, yes, but I don't want to
He
talk
often
about that.
says things to- yeah.
I don't want to talk about that.
No.
But anyway, so we've really chatted away almost the whole time. Do you have anything
I've
else
had
that
grapes and cookies too.
that you wanted to talk
Now,
about?
does this which does it go better with this or with that?
These go great on their own.
Yeah, those are they ginger snaps?
Could be.
It's
they
more
were called
appley.
Oh,
more
okay.
appley.
Yeah. And I love a cold seedless grape.
Yeah,
It's refreshing.
everyone does.
It's not just me.
Okay, 2 experiments to tell you about.
Okay,
Kind of surprising.
all right.
So they were interviewing children, okay? And they would say to the children, hold up a box of crayons. What's in this box? And they would say crayons.
Yeah.
Then you open it up and you replace the crayons with candles. They go, oh, look, candles. Then they would say the next question. After you leave this room, your friend so-and-so will be next. When I show them the box of crayons, what are they going to say is in the box? If you're 4 years old or younger, you see they're going to say candles. If you're 5 years old or older, they're going to say crayons. They're going to see it's a crayon box.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the conclusion is that if you're 4 years old or younger, you have not reached a stage in your development where you can say, what's this other person thinking?
Oh, well, yeah.
It's all,
right.
what am I taking in?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Or you would think that they know what you know.
Yeah.
because you know it.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, and they can't
Yeah.
they can't foresee that somebody wouldn't know something that they know.
Yeah.
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 That's why they can't figure out lying at that point yet, too, right?
Oh, that could be.
Oh, but they figure it out pretty quickly when they try to get away with something. Lying is kind of a, they'll test the waters. Mommy said I could have this, and I'd say, well, when did she say that? But this is like at 4 or 5. She said it yesterday, and I said, well, why did she say that yesterday? You didn't want it then. You want it now. Well, she knew that I would want it now. So they can't really rationalize very well. But it's interesting talking to children if you like them. I don't like all children.
We had this. Yeah.
Yeah, I find some children to be remarkably annoying. But, I have a relationship with my grandchildren, and I think that they're pretty cool. I don't like all their friends, but I think my grandkids are pretty cool.
Well,
So-
luckily, you don't have to worry about their other friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the second experiment involves a dog and a monkey,
Okay.
chimpanzee, which are supposed to be the most like humans.
Yeah.
Right? But listen to this experiment. I thought this was fascinating. You have the dog sitting next to you, and you do something where maybe the dog has to press a button or something, and you give him a reward.
Yeah.
So you give the dog a reward, okay? And then you wait, and you maybe point to the button. Dog hits the button, he gets another reward. Dog picks up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Then you have the dog press the button, but you don't give them the reward. Instead, you go like this with your eyes. Like there's a box over there.
Go get your own reward.
That's right. The dog will figure it out. The dog will go
That's
for
the- yeah.
there's the rewards. The chimp won't have a clue.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, the chimp will have no clue. Why is that? And the researchers say because dogs have learned to read our facial expressions.
True.
Oh,
whereas
because
chimps
they're
have not. They're like in their
yeah.
own little society
Yeah.
They're
where they don't do things
And-
like that.
Right. And so if they're not, if their peers aren't doing that, they don't know that behavior. Whereas dogs know our behavior because they've been bred with us. They're
To an amazing
Yeah.
degree. If you hurt your knee and you have a limp, you take your dog for a walk. By the time you get at the end of the walk, your dog will be limping. It's like I feel your pain.
Right, so-
Look at me. I'm identifying with you.
yeah.
Aw.
And I had a guy when I was a job coach who had a service dog, and he wasn't blind. He had a service dog because he had seizures. And before he would have a seizure, the dog was aware he was going to have a seizure. There's a certain scent or there's some kind of vibration or something, and the dog would warn him that he was going to have a seizure so he could sit down.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think that's amazing. Because when he first
Look
told
at
me
look
he-
at the bond
yeah.
between you and your dog.
I know. I can just look at her too, when she's like, thinking she's begging for food or whatever, and she gets so much treats all the time. So there's a point where you just have to say no, and I'll say no, and she's still sitting up high, and I will just like very subtle, just a small little, and then she's like, okay, forget it, fuck it, I'm gonna lay down. Sorry about swearing, but
No, it's okay.
Fascinating.
We're my daughter's dog knows I give her the equivalent of a hamburger every time because at first I was kind of afraid of this dog. It's a boxer, and it jumps straight up in the air, all fours, pew, like a kangaroo. So at first I thought I'm going to endear this dog to me so this dog does not eat me. So I bring the equivalent of a hamburger and I cook it up and I put it in her regular food so
Right.
she's, and the dog, as soon as the dog sees me, it's like woof.
yeah,
Woof,
right,
woof,
yeah.
woof, woof. And the dog will do things like she wants to drink out of the tub. So she'll look at me. She's like, woof. And then she'll take 2 steps toward the tub. Oh, okay. So anyway, the dogs do communicate. They know exactly.
They really do.
But anyway, we've got 10 seconds left, so I'm going to say goodbye to Richard and Beth and my son Tom, and we are going to see you again next week. Thank you for joining us, whoever came by. Thank you, Paul Slater. Miss you. Jeez.